Welcome into the Wildcat Digital Network here in Baldwin City, Kansas, at the site of Baker University. I'm Derek Johnson. We've got a basketball doubleheader for you today. First up with the Baker men's team, we'll have the Baker women's team following this one. And the opponent visiting into the Collins Center here for today's action, hosted by Baker, will be Harris-Stowe State. The Hornets come in 0-2 on the year out of the American Midwest Conference. For Baker, they're 2-2 on the year, 0-1 so far to start in Heart of America Athletic Conference play. Starting lineup for Harris-Stowe State, Deshaun Munson is a 6'4" senior guard from East St. Louis, Illinois. Jamar Joseph is a 6'2" senior guard from Spring Valley, New York. Isaiah Dix is a junior guard at 6'4" out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. Wesley Anderson Jr. is the 6'2" senior guard from Jonesboro, Arkansas. And rounding out the starting five for Harris-Stowe State is David Spell, a 6'6" senior forward from Herrin, Illinois. They are coached by Breon Dunlap in his 5th season, assisted by Derek Thompson and George Jefferson. For Baker, they've got Tyler White, the junior forward at 6'5" from Topeka, Kansas. His 4th start of the year, 5th appearance. Colby Bolick, the senior guard at 6 feet tall from Overland Park, Kansas, making his 4th start of the year and appearance. Justin Batts is the junior guard at 6'1" from Memphis, Tennessee. His 5th appearance and start. Kobe Buffalo Meat, the big man down low, the sophomore forward at 6'8" from Lawrence, his 5th start. And Akeem Woods making his 2nd start and 4th appearance, the junior guard/forward at 6'4" from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Baker is coached by Sean Dooley in his 9th season for Baker, assisted by Matt Woodcock and the GA Jesse Lee Brockhoff. Harris-Stowe State will be in the yellow uniforms with the white numbers. For Baker, they'll be in the white uniforms with the blue Baker and the orange numbers. And doing the opening tap, number 12 for both sides. It's Kobe Buffalo Meat for Baker and David Spell for Harris-Stowe State. Baker will start out going right to left from our broadcast perspective here, with the Hornets going the opposite. And it was won by Spell, but out of bounds, so Baker will have the opening possession of the game. 2 20-minute halves here for the women's game later. That'll be 4 10-minute quarters, so a little bit of a difference there, and also a little bit of difference in terms of the bonuses for fouls. Wildcats on the season, 2-1 here at home. For Harris-Stowe State, they are 0-1 on the road. And immediately it'll be a pick and roll. Batts finds the back-cutting Woods. Couldn't totally possess the ball, so has to kick it out. White, pretty good look at a corner three. It rattles out, and the one-handed rebound by David Spell. So Anderson brings up the first possession for the Hornets offensively. They like to run and gun. Both these teams average high numbers of point-per-game totals. There's Spell. Off the mark on the three, and the rebound by Akeem Woods. Well, Spell at 6'6", their tallest player on the court, but he'll even shoot the three. They have flexibility from everywhere. White will launch another. This time is off again. Came into today 63% from the outside, so you don't see him missing 2 straight very often. Munson drives over Buffalo Meat and lays it up and in. Well, Munson is an absolute star in terms of being able to score the basketball. Averages over 40 points per game. Batts, a deep 2, knocks it down from just inside the 3-point arc. And that'll get Baker underway. Here comes Munson the other way. Well, amazingly, Munson has not even taken a 3-point attempt this season, and yet he averages 42 points per contest. Thought about taking his first. He'll dribble in on Kobe Buffalo Meat, hang in the air off the mark. He's just so good at driving, and Baker's going to try to make him be a jump shooter. Great pass up ahead to Akeem Woods, but blocked at the rack by Isaiah Dix. Jamar Joseph brings it up the other way. Gives off to Anderson, the long 3 off the back iron, and the rebound by Batts. Harris-Stowe State averages 96.5 points per game. Baker at 89. Batts drives to the right. The running hook shot off the mark, and the board by Dix again. Munson, the reigning NAIA Player of the Week. Driving in on Buffalo Meat again. Blows him by. It's no good, and so far Buffalo Meat doing a good job contesting at the rim with his size. To start Munson off at 1 for 3. Came into today shooting about 60%. Bats avoids the screen from Buffalo Meat, now goes through it to the left, hands off to Woods, pulls up at the free throw line, straight on and hits the jumper. And Akeem Woods makes it 4-2 Baker, 17:45 to go in the first half. Well, beyond what these two teams score per game, which on average is about 186 points combined, defensively, Harris-Stowe State, that's where they've had their issues. 111 points allowed per game. Munson, Euro step off Buffalo Meat, no good. Bullock trying to go the other way. It's a 3-on-2 for Baker. He'll pull out to the left, and the numbers will reform for both sides. They get it into the left block to White, flips it to Buffalo Meat, just quickly turns, 8-footer, nothing but net. He's so good from that mid-range, his Buffalo Meat, such good touch. And he has the height to get off a shot from many different angles. 6-2 Baker, 3 minutes into the first half. Well, it's interesting how they're playing Munson. They're basically just having Buffalo Meat in the paint, and he's getting about a 5-foot cushion. They're saying just take the jump shot. Instead, it's going to be a floater from Joseph that goes off the window, and it's 6-4. That's up ahead to Woods. Woods to Buffalo Meat, quickly right to Bullock. He missed the last game for Baker. Out to Woods, drives in, kicks out, bats, good look at a straight-on three, a bit to the left, no good, and it's rebounded by Buffalo Meat. Spins around at the baseline, shovels out to Bullock, fakes a three, out to Woods. Left wing three for Akeem Woods is good. 5 for Woods early, and that is the lead for Baker with 16:20 to go in the first half. Baker, meanwhile, defensively gives up 65 points per game, so they've had a little better luck on that end. Deep three almost banked in by David Spell. Long rebound goes out to Joseph. He fires after catching it. It's short from the left wing, and Buffalo Meat skies for the board. Bats will bring it across for the Wildcats. The transfer from Southwest Tennessee Community College. Off the screen, pulls up, but an offensive foul. It was a moving screen on Kobe Buffalo Meat. And Buffalo Meat will now check out for Braden Wiggs. Appeared in all 5 this season, averaging 19 minutes per game, so plays about half the game. Gives you 11 points, 7 rebounds per contest. Really good numbers in that minute length for Wiggs, and it is a very good 1-2 punch at the center position that head coach Sean Dooley has. We're over 4 minutes into the first half, and Baker leads 9-4. Anderson bringing it up. They give up 108 points to Mount Mercy in their opener, did Harris-Stowe State, scoring 101. And then in their second game, as Munson drives to the right, he's blocked by Wiggs, got it back, spins into him. Baker making him work for everything, but a good finish there at the rack by Munson. Their next game lost at number 4 William Penn, 114-92. They play fast tempo and like to get buckets quickly. Wiggs drives, bats out after losing it to Woods. Can't hit this three. It's mishandled, though, on the rebound by Harris-Stowe State, and it goes out of bounds off them. 15-18 to go. Baker down by, or up by 3, excuse me. On the season, the Hornets shoot about 46% from the field, give up about 49%. Baker is at 50%, give up about 38%. Bats to Woods, drives in left, takes hard contact from the help defense, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2. For Baker, they opened up the season losing to Ottawa, then winning the next 2 against Spurgeon and Kansas Christian, putting up triple digits in both of those games. Losing their most recent contest earlier this week on Wednesday to Benedictine, 76-64. It was a hard-fought contest as Woods connects on the first free throw. Elmelick Martin Jr., the senior from Detroit, Michigan, is going to come on for Isaiah Dix for Harris-Stowe State. And for Baker, they'll pull out Tyler White and put in Mason Dukes, who's making his first appearance off the bench this season. The other 4 starts. Second was no good. Munson the rebound. He's looking to push the tempo all the way to the rack. Lost it, though, and Dukes comes up with the basketball. Well, that's what Munson can do. He's so strong around the rim and driving. Bounce pass from Bullock, couldn't get into Wiggs, and here comes Munson the other way. Bats on the defense, and he fouls him hard on the Euro step. Going to make him earn it at the line. Munson is a 67% free throw shooter this year. And he gets to the free throw line a lot. Bit of a different free throw setup he's very far to the right is Munson, and he misses the first. Munson shot 21 free throws in the first 2 games this season, so it's up to 23 after this 2. Missed the first. We'll see what he does on the back end. And he does get the roll. It's up to 3 points. Baker up 3. 14:50 to go here in the first half. That's being pressured by Anderson. Brings it across. Up top to Wiggs. To the right to Dukes. Drives in at the rack. It's stripped down. And out of bounds off Harris-Stowe State. Martin is able to punch it away. It'll be an inbound for Baker. And Batts will have the throw in. Well, Batts had a high turnover game last game as Duke straight off the catch and fire hits the three-pointer from straight on. But Batts had shown in his first 3 games he was very good at taking care of the ball and finding the open man, so it was a bit uncharacteristic last game, and you expect a big game this time. That's Munson's first 3 attempt of the year. It's no good. You figured it was coming if Baker was going to continue to play off of him that much. 13-7 Baker in front. Pass from Batts. Dukes saves it after it was tipped. Throws it down low to Wiggs. See if he goes to work on the right block. Instead kicks out to the inserted Xavier Elam. It's off the back of the bridge, and the rebound for Munson. Well, beyond the 42 points per game for Munson, he also averages 14.5 rebounds. And you see the strength there as he finishes at the rack. Quickly up ahead, Dukes at the right of the three-point arc. Finds Bullock inside. Wiggs turns, and he's fouled by Joseph with Spell on the back end trying to get the block from behind. 13:38 in the first half. Baker up 13-9. 2 free throws to come for Braden Wiggs. Wiggs is 4 for 9 this year at the stripe. Knocks down the first. He shot just shy of 70% at the free throw line a season ago. Subs on for both teams. Right now for Baker on the court is Shear, Elam, Wiggs, Bullock, and Dukes. On the court for the Hornets, they took out Munson, so he'll get a little bit of a breather. It is Martin Jr., Joseph, Anderson Jr. as friendly roll there on the free throw. Also on the court is Spell and Riley Barnes for the first time tonight. Martin crossing over, worked around. This is Barnes. Out to Anderson, thought about the 3, drives into the left, trying to loop around Elam, kicks up top. Barnes drives right on Wiggs, kicks out right corner, wide open is David Spell. The 3 too strong, tipped over by Shear, and they call a foul on him for knocking into Jermar Joseph. Martin will have the inbound. Right now 3 fouls against Baker, 2 against Harris-Stowe State. 13-12 to go in the first half. Throw in by Martin up top to Spell. Hands off to Martin. Gets by Bullock on a nice hesitation move and lays it up and in at the rim. First points of the game for Martin, who has been coming off the bench every game for them, but averages over 16 points per game. Is that microwave sixth man. Dukes thought about the 3, instead gives off to Bullock. He lets one go. It's too strong as it just grazed off the back end of the rim. And Anderson bringing it up after the rebound. Away from the screen. And an offensive foul called against Harris-Stowe State. Excuse me, a double dribble. Woods is going to return for Bullock. 12:42 to go in the half. 4-point lead for Baker. Marquise Pepper will also come on. This is his first game of the year. He's going to check in for Wesley Anderson Jr. Baker will get it into Shear, and Pepper immediately making his presence felt with full court pressure. Down low to Wiggs. Doubled, waits for it to clear, then turns to the left. Good block from the side by David Spell. Barnes leads the break out right to Martin. Driving on Shear. Tried to get some separation. Knocked out by Elam, but it skimmed off the hands of Riley Barnes in the process. And it'll be Baker basketball. This Harris-Stowe State team went 23-9 a season ago. Wiggs drives right. You don't see that too often from the big man. He gets the hoop and the harm. The big 6'7", 250-pound big man from St. Charles, Missouri. Showing he can do it off the bounce too. And he'll go to the line for the second trip tonight. He was 2 for 2 earlier, just moments ago. Off to the right. It's on the floor. Wiggs, full-fledged dive. Good effort, but can't get to it. Martin, to the right to Barnes. Back out Martin. Fires the contested three over Dukes. It's off the mark. The rebound by Barnes on the offensive glass, though. With a lot of threes that this Harris-Stowe State team will fire. They average 32 three-point attempts per game. There are going to be some long rebounds like that one. Barnes left it off the rim. And Wiggs cleaned up the mess. 6-point lead for Baker with the basketball. Woods. Up top, Wiggs trying to show more versatility. Almost fired the three. Instead, he dishes off the pass to Mason Dukes for the easy lay-in. Wiggs doing it all right now for Baker, and it's an 8-point lead for the Wildcats. Pepper gives to Spell. Barnes, hands off, chop play with Joseph, working in on Woods. Brushed him off and able to get the little 4-foot floater. Good move by Jamar Joseph, who averages 9 points per game. 6-point lead again for Baker. 11 minutes to go in the first half. Shear to Wiggs. Back to Shear. Off a screen from Woods. Picks up his dribble. Gets it to the post to Woods. Feels like he had the height advantage, but worked around the perimeter. Wiggs, the right block. Cross-court pass, and that is a bullet 5 feet over the head of Akeem Woods. Making his return is Deshaun Munson. Also, Nick McKenzie will join the court for the first time for Harris-Stowe State. Out will come Barnes and Spell. Well, Baker does have the height advantage. Of course, Spell at 6'6". We'll see if we see Raymond Dobie. He hasn't played this year, but he's 6'7". Outside of that, everybody else 6'4" or under for Harris-Stowe State. Of course, Baker with Wiggs at 6'7", 250. Buffalo Meat at 6'8". Foul called against Dukes there. And they've also got players like Tyler White at 6'5". Here is Buffalo Meat returning. Same with Justin Batts. Out will come Shear and Wiggs. Munson will have the inbound. Plays 38.5 minutes per game, so that might be the only time we see him go to the bench for a rest all day. He's wide open in the corner. Baker's still not going to guard him. Kicks out Joseph, three. Bottles down for Jamar Joseph. And he's got 7 early as he cuts the lead in half from 6-3. And a foul called against Marquise Pepper.
Fouls on the Hornets, number 5, Marquise Pepper, his first.
Nearing the halfway mark here of this first half. Baker leads 19-16. I mentioned Harris-Stowe State fires up 32 threes a game. Baker not that far behind at 27 is electric to the rim. Justin Batts finishes. I make it 21-16. And Baker shoots about 39% on those threes. Munson into the body of Buffalo Meat. Lost it, got it back, hanging in the air, falls off the rim, but he got his own miss. Padding the stats with the old offensive rebound put back there. For Harris-Stowe State, they fire up all those threes. Haven't been as effective at it, about 32% on the year. Elam drives right, fade away at the elbow off the pivot foot, off the mark. Munson bringing it up, maybe looking to gather a full head of steam. Slows down at the elbow. He's trying to get an isolation. This is a very different style of basketball as they work it out. The three by McKenzie, no good. And Buffalo Meat fought over Dukes for the rebound. Bats coming the other way. That's averaging 11 points per game. Gives off to Elam. We saw him for the first time last game. Second appearance of the year here. Munson and Buffalo Meat fighting positioning. Buffalo Meat sets the screen. Bats 3 is strong. And this will be Harris-Stowe State basketball. Bringing it a media timeout, 8:41 to go. Looks like White was going to come on to the game for Baker, and Anderson was going to come on for the Hornets. Baker 21, Harris-Stowe State 18, 8:41 left in the first half. Thank you for joining us here today on the Wildcat Digital Network. Here at BakerWildcats.com. Again, we'll have the women's contest after this one. Some other notes. Baker football team last night victorious 24-3 as they remain undefeated on the year. And they've got a big one this upcoming Thursday on Thanksgiving Day, taking on Benedictine for the Hart South Championship. And that'll be on the road. So some stats so far early in this one. Baker up over 40%. Harris-Stowe State just under 40%. Just 1 of 8 from 3. Baker's 2 of 8 from 3. Baker struggled shooting from downtown last game against Benedictine after hitting at an insanely high clip in the first 3 games. In terms of rebounding, Harris-Stowe State has 2 more on the offensive glass. That's the difference between the two. They've got the same on the defensive end. Baker has many more assists, and so far neither team's had a ton of turnovers. 3 for Baker, 2 for the Hornets. Well, on the season, Harris-Stowe State has been minus 14 per game in rebounding. They average 12 on the offensive glass, though, with those long rebounds. Baker averages 11 on the offensive glass. They're plus 10, though, per game. But so far early on, Harris-Stowe State with the advantage there. Munson brings up, hands off to Martin, back to Munson, driving in on Buffalo Meat, spins the other way. Buffalo Meat may have altered the shot. He's been a big difference maker defensively tonight after we saw last game a huge difference maker offensively, scoring over 20. Elam, the corner 3, no good. Munson pounds the rebound, bringing it up all the way on Batts to his left, and a foul on Justin Batts. He didn't like the call, and that'll send Munson back to the line.
Fouls on the Wildcats, number 5, Justin Batts, his second.
Munson is 1 for 2 at the line today. Well, here's his total stat line because it is pretty ridiculous. 42 points, 14.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and a steal and a half per game. And it's not like he's turning it over a ton or anything with all that usage. Just 2.5 turnovers per game compared to 6.5 assists. He's also averaging half a block per game, shooting 60% from the field. Misses the second free throw, but an offensive rebound by Martin as White couldn't handle it and kind of lost his footing. They get it to Munson, weaving through the defense. Another block by Buffalo Meat. It goes back out to Martin, fires the 18-footer short. Offensive rebound by Spell, who gets the finish and the foul. Well, again, mentioned Harris-Stowe State coming into this game was minus 14 per game in rebounding and minus 28 total for the season. But right now they're feasting on the offensive glass here against Baker. And they've tied it at 21 with 7:59 to go. Free throw upcoming to take the lead for David Spell. Too strong, and the rebound by Bullock. Baker will look to respond and regain the lead. Shear gets the high ball screen from Buffalo Meat, lost the basketball, and couldn't kind of hold it, so that forced a travel. Rion Dunlap, the head coach of the Hornets, 81-48 here in his 5th year. For Baker, Sean Dooley, the 3rd time all-winningest coach in Baker history. 3 launched and knocked down by Elmalik Martin Jr. 24-21. Harris-Stowe State on a bit of a spurt here. Shear off Buffalo Meat, and it's another moving screen. That's his second. And timeout, Sean Dooley and Baker with 7:21 to go in the half. Momentum fleeting from the Wildcats at the moment.
30-second timeout.
So the women's game after this one, it won't be a doubleheader between the same team like we see in a lot of the conference meetings. For the women's team, they'll be taking on Baker College later following this one. Right now, Harris-Stowe State at 8 offensive rebounds. Baker has 14 total rebounds. And Deshaun Munson with 10 points, 5 rebounds. It's taken him 13 shots to get those 10 points, though, and that's something that I'm sure Baker would be happy with. Wildcats in search of a stop on this possession. Here is Munson. Drives to the right, lost the ball. It got back out to Spell. It rims out. Woods on the run, flicks out right to Shear. Woods just fits it into Dukes. Nice hesitation, pulls up at the left elbow and knocks it down. He is a lights-out shooter, and he's got 7 here in the first half. Baker down by just 1 now. Well, it's interesting with Munson because he just kind of bobs and weans as the three-pointer no good, and then waits till you're kind of lulled to sleep, and then he turns it on into turbo mode in a hurry and attacks that rim with all kinds of power. And that is one of the challenges of Baker defense facing in this one. Wiggs from the right elbow just rattled out. Anderson up ahead, Munson. Outright wide open 3 by Martin. The late contest by Wiggs, not enough. And another triple for Martin Jr., his second of the night. And it's 27-23, Harris-Stowe State. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Baker was in control early, but Harris-Stowe State on a bit of a run. Shear underhands it out to Woods. Down low to Wiggs. In the paint. Goes up over the defender Spell and able to finish. 6 points for Wiggs. Baker back down 2. Munson shovels out to Spell. Thought about it. Gives off instead to Anderson. Off the screen to the near side with Munson. He lets another 3 fly. It's well off to the right. And the rebound by Wiggs. And we're going to get a foul off the ball. I believe that's going to be called against David Spell for holding Braden Wiggs on his cut to the hoop. And it will be. That'll be the 5th foul against Harris-Stowe State. And that's 2 against Spell. They'll bring in Joseph and Dix. Out will come Spell and Anderson. 5:27 to go in the half. By the way, Baker's at 7 fouls now, so the next foul against Baker will be a 1-and-1 for Harris-Stowe State, unless it's on a shooting foul. Shear on the inbound. Bounces to Wiggs at the hoop. Finishes over the smaller Joseph. And with the second foul on Spell, that is huge from, we already mentioned some of the size disparities they're going up against. He's kind of that one guy who can stick up with them down low. The jump shot knocked down, and Martin's on fire here in the first half with 10. And the lead back to 2 for the Hornets. Well, they've still got Munson, who's 6'4", and he's powerful to play above his height. But they'll go down to Wiggs with the 3-inch advantage. But he just missed the bunny finish. Munson no-look pass to Martin. Off to McKenzie. Hangs in the air, off the mark, but another offensive rebound for the Hornets. Munson going to run some clock here and back things out. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Munson drives in to the right, off the mark. And he'll head to the line for 2. That one called against Wiggs.
At the line, shooting for the Hornets, Munson.
Wesley Anderson Jr. is going to come back on for Harris-Stowe State. For Baker, they'll have Ray Swopes. First by Munson is short.
Entering the Wildcats, number 23, Harris-Stowe, and the Hornets, number 10, Wesley Anderson Jr.
Second for Munson. And he hits up to 11 points. They got 30 as a team, leading by 3. Bit of a press from Harris-Stowe State. Baker dealt with that against Benedictine. Able to deal with it here. Swopes, down low to Wiggs. Goes to work. Turns left, and Munson with the block. Martin takes it the other way, flicks up ahead to Joseph, who finishes with the left hand. And Joseph with 9. Baker led this one 21-13. Dukes looks to answer with the corner 3, and a big hit for Mason Dukes. He's got 10. And that cuts the lead down to 2. Prior to that make, though, it was a 19-6 run for Harris-Stowe State. Munson hesitates, drives on Wiggs over him, and a foul is called.
Fouls on the Wildcats, number 35, Braden Wiggs.
And that's 2 quick ones on Wiggs. Munson goes back to the line. Short on the first. Been a bit inconsistent at the line so far. Buffalo Meat will come on for Wiggs. 3:31 left in the half. Baker's going to need to avoid another foul on one of those guys. Well, that's what Munson can do. He can really score it and get to the paint. Mentioned he had 21 free throws in the first 2 games. He's getting there a lot tonight as well. He can really get your bigs in foul trouble with the way he can drive it and attack the rim. Swopes to the middle to Dukes, and Baker breaks the press again. Shear, Buffalo Meat, Dukes. He's got the hot hand over to Bullock. Down low to Buffalo Meat, turns left, hangs in the air. Munson didn't get called for the foul, but he did give up the hoop. And Buffalo Meat, his second bucket of the first half. Munson looks to go straight at him the other way, left it short, the rebound for Shear. Buffalo Meat at 270, harder to drive into him. Under 3 to play in the first half. Bullock, 28-footer, is short, but a rebound by Buffalo Meat, tapped out by Munson. So Shear will have the inbound for Baker. Up top to Dukes. There's Swopes. Down low, Buffalo Meat. Had the pass to Shear, but a good tip by Munson. It was the right idea from Buffalo Meat. Now Munson the other way, finishes up and under. And he's up to 14 to make it 35-32. 2.5 to play in the first half. Well, it's funny because Munson has 14 points in this first half, but he's on pace to be well below his season average. Swopes hits the 3, and we're tied at 35. First triple of the season for Ray Swopes, the junior from Topeka, Kansas. He's a good defender as well. Munson lets his third 3 loose. It's off again. Again came in with no 3-point attempts this year. Swopes leaks behind the back of the defense. Over to Buffalo Meat for the 2-handed jam. Swopes the triple, then the assist on back-to-back offensive possessions, and Baker reclaims the lead, 37-35. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Here comes Martin. Picks out Munson. Here's his 4th 3-pointer. It's off again. And you wonder if Baker's starting to get in his head a little with that one. No 3-point attempts coming into this one. He's taken 4 today, none of them going in. And a 2-point lead now for Baker, who was up 21-13, then gave up the big run, and now has battled back to take a bucket lead with a minute and a half to play in the first. Swopes. Good pass into Buffalo Meat. Hangs. No good. Tipped up by Bullock. Swopes almost saved it, but it just hit the end line. Next, we'll toss into Martin. Martin with 10 points, averages 16.5 per. Got a quick shot off 2 screens, drives to his right, looping pass, tipped by Buffalo Meat, and he was stepping on the out-of-bounds line when he touched it. Good defensive play nonetheless. And Martin will have the inbound, but first Wiggs will come on for Buffalo Meat. And he's got 2 fouls, so he's got to be safe here. Throw it into Munson on him. Good defense without fouling. It does end up in a good finish by Munson, though, but you can get the 2 points back. You can't get that other foul. 37 all. Baker crosses with about 1 to spare. Wiggs almost lost his back foot. Now Shear gets it off to him, finds Dukes in the corner, fakes, drives. No good, tipped out. And Martin on the other way. And the finger roll goes down for Emmerich Martin, who's got a dozen. 39-37, Hornets still in front. Dukes to Swopes. There's about a 7-second difference between game and shot clock. 15 on the shot, 22 on the game. Bullock, floater inside the free throw line. No good, he got his own miss. Baker can hold for the last shot if they want, or they can take a wide open 3 with Dukes, their best shooter, and he knocks it down. Well, it was a bit of a risk to not take the last shot, but when you have a shooter like Dukes, who's a career 42% three-point shooter, from the corner like that, wide open, you're not going to get a better shot. And he gives Baker the lead back at 40-39. And now you go and trust your defense with 11.7 seconds to go in the half. So it hasn't been quite as high scoring as these two teams average. 96.5 per game for Harris-Stowe State would put them on pace for about 48.5. Baker at 89 would put them on pace for about 44.5, but it hasn't been that far behind, and it has been an exciting back-and-forth first half between these two. And surely to be a good final possession here with under 12 seconds to go in the first half. Baker up by 1. 5 timeouts for both teams. Right now, Baker has been called for 9 fouls. Harris-Stowe State has been called for 5. So any foul on Baker here in the final moments would be double bonus. They'll roll it into Martin. Under 10 seconds to go. He brings it across the halfway point at 7. Martin off a screen from Munson. Off a double screen. Back to Munson. 3 seconds. Munson kicks out. Dix at the first half. Buzzer knocks it down and gives Harris-Stowe State the lead at the break, 42-40. That was the first bucket of the first half for Dix, who this is his first game played in, and he started it. And a big one to close the back-and-forth first half. But we've got an exciting one between these two. Harris-Stowe State 42, Baker 40. We'll be back for the second half of action after this break. You're listening and watching Baker Basketball on the Wildcat Digital Network. Welcome back into the Wildcat Digital Network. I'm Derek Johnson here at BakerWildcats.com. Exciting first half. Harris-Stowe State leading Baker 42-40 as we get ready for half number 2. In the first half, Harris-Stowe State shot 41%, 25% from 3. Just 4 of 9 on free throws, though. Baker, 46% from the field, 36% from downtown, and 3 of 5 on free throws. Some other numbers. Harris-Stowe State dominant on the offensive glass, 9 offensive rebounds, just 4 for Baker. And the Hornets out-rebounded the Wildcats by 4 in the first half in total. Hornets also had 7 assists to 2 turnovers and 2 steals with 3 blocks. For Baker, they had 12 assists to 6 turnovers with no steals and 3 blocks in the first half. Deshaun Munson scored 16 points, had 6 rebounds, 5 assists. It took him 19 shots to get there, though, and I think Baker will take that. Jamar Joseph had 9 points, 5 rebounds. Isaiah Dix with 3 points, 2 rebounds. Wesley Anderson with 2 rebounds. David Spell, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Also had the 2 fouls. Elmalik Martin had 12 points, 4 rebounds. And Marquise Pepper with a rebound. Riley Barnes also had a rebound as well. For Baker, as the Hornets get the first possession of the half, Tyler White had a rebound. Kobe Buffalo Meat with 6 points, 5 rebounds. Colby Bullock, 4 rebounds. Justin Batts, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Akeem Woods with 6 points. And there is Batts getting to that basketball, 2 rebounds and an assist for Woods. Shear had 2 rebounds. Mason Dukes, the leader in points for Baker, with 13 on 5 of 6 shooting, 3 for 3 from downtown. That one's short from Buffalo Meat. Xavier Elam was 0 for 3 in the first half. Riley Swopes with 3 points and assist. And Braden Wiggs as Munson, partially blocked from behind by Woods. Wiggs had 8 points and 3 rebounds, also an assist in the first half. Bullock lets the 3 loose. It's strong. And the rebound for Munson. Bursts down the right sideline into the middle, lays it up and in. Munson up to 18 points. And he's not a guy who's going to hit you with a bunch of jump shots, but he's just so good at driving into the rim. That's where he's done his work. That and the free throw line. It's a 4-point lead for Harris-Stowe State. Baker looking for their first points of the second half. That's off the dribble, being guarded by Dix. To the right to Akeem Woods. Woods up top to White, and a travel called against Tyler White. Well, Harris-Stowe State in the American Midwest Conference finished 3rd place last year, but won the American Midwest Conference tournament for the 3rd time in 4 years. And they lost Dwayne Clark Jr. to graduation. He was a second-team all-conference pick a season ago. 0-2 start to the year this year. For Baker, a 13-11 Hart finish, which finished them tied for 6th. Wide open 3 by Dix is an air ball. And it'll be Baker basketball. And, of course, Baker losing Elfritz, Clifford, and Fisher. And starting the year 2-2. Wildcats looking to get above 500. Harris-Stowe State looking for the first win. It's batted away by Dix, but good job by Batts to get back to it. Now Baker actually has numbers out of it. Woods will drive baseline. Floater is blocked out of bounds by Dix. Good recovery for the Hornets. 12 on the shot clock for the inbound pass. 17:58 to go. Again, we'll have the women's game between Baker and Baker College after this one. Batts throws into White. He's yet to score tonight. He averages 9 per game. Buffalo Meat off the pivot foot, working left, right. Can't get it off the miss, though. Lays it back in. And he's got 6 points. Bit of a slow start for him after scoring 21 last game. He was more in making defensive plays. Pretty good defense there, but Munson able to finish over him. He's made it difficult on Munson, though, overall. Obviously, you'd see 20 points and say, well, how difficult, but he's well over 20 shots. Baker down 4 again. Woods. Bounce pass to the left corner with Bullock. Faked the 3, faked again, drived in. Kick out. Loose. Batts stepped out of bounds, trying to save it. Quickly to Munson, who's going to attack again. The Euro step, lays it up and in, and now Munson's starting to get going. Six-point lead for Harris-Stowe State. That's being guarded by Anderson. Driving his Bats, the kick out White, extra pass, Bullock up top, and he's going to be fouled. The baseline out of bounds. It's going to be called against Jamar Joseph. On will come Elam and Mason Dukes. Going to give some extra punch to the offense as White will check out. Mentioned Dukes had 13 in that first half. Elam didn't score, but last year averaged 11 points per game. That's the inbound, has to go up top with it to Dukes. And the pass knocked out of bounds by Munson. 16:42 to go. Baker down 6. Most they've trailed by today. Long pass into Bullock. Back to Bats. Pretty good look at a three off the screen by Dukes. Just rims out. And Baker cold to start the second half. Martin. Bounce pass to Munson inside. Over Buffalo Meat. Buffalo Meat got a hand on it. But he got it back, and he'll be fouled. Well, you may slow him down on the first try, but he is so good at collecting his own miss and just ferociously going back up with it.
Justin Bats, his third at the line, shooting for the Wildcat. Correction for the Hornets, Munson.
Munson up to 22 points. And averages 42 per contest. He was an NAIA first-team All-American a season ago as he misses the first. And Buffalo Meat will come out for Wiggs. Also the AMC Player of the Year. This is second year with Harris-Stowe State as a senior after he attended Barton Community College. And he splits the pair of free throws. He's done that a lot tonight as Shear will come on for Justin Bats. 16:28 to go. Baker trails by 7. Largest deficit they've faced today. They could use a bucket here, just 2 points so far. They're almost 4 minutes of the second half after putting up 40 in the first half. Shear drives right into the defense, and he's fouled. Spell got all ball on the up, but got him with the body, and that's what results in the foul.
Foul is on the Hornets, number 12.
And that's 3 against David Spell,
At the line, shooting for the Wildcat.
as Shear will go to the line looking for his first points of the night. And he hits the first. Shear, that was his first free throw attempt of the season as well. Had a big game last game against Benedictine. 7 big points, hit a clutch 3 late. 4 rebounds as well in that game against Benedictine. And a very good rebounder, especially for his size at 5'10". He averages 5 rebounds per game in 19 minutes. Hits the second. 49-44. Martin across the timeline, finds Munson, kick out, good pass between a couple defenders. Good to look at a 3 by Dix, no good. He got his own miss. And there was a travel as he tried to spin into the defense. Baker looking for a score here to cut it to a 1-possession game. Dukes to Bullock. Up top, Elam. Left to Shear. Drives baseline. Tried the handoff to Wiggs. It was deflected away, and on the run comes the Hornets. Joseph to the left. Good defense by Bullock, and a jump ball forced. And the possession arrow favors Baker.
Entering the game for the Hornets, number 13, Nick McKenzie.
So it's Shear, Wiggs, Dukes, Elam, and Bullock on the court for Baker. 4 guards around the one big man. And a travel called against Shear. Well, Baker's side doesn't like that call at all. Meanwhile, on the court for the Hornets, Munson, this is Martin with the basketball. They've also got Anderson Jr., Joseph, and McKenzie. Munson let 4 threes loose in the first half. Tries his fifth. Almost got a friendly roll. It was short again, though. And a foul on the floor going to be called against Baker with McKenzie crashing the glass. Well, again, I think Baker knew that what they were getting into this game with a guy like Munson, and he got 23 points, but they made him work for it. But the big surprise in this one has been Harris-Stowe State dominating on the offensive glass. They were minus 14 coming into this game in rebounds per game, as Munson is going to be called for a charge. Good take by Braden Wiggs. And Munson thought Wiggs was in the restricted area. Well, so far, though, the Hornets have gotten a lot of extra possessions. Baker struggling to box out in a few possessions. Elam. Bullock. One-handed pass. Shear gets it into Dukes. 10 on the shot clock. Down low to Wiggs. Over Munson. It's blocked. He got it back, and he finishes. Double digits for Braden Wiggs. He's got 10, and Baker down 3 now. Over 5 minutes into the second half. Munson drives right into Wiggs. No good. Elam tips it up, but again an offensive rebound for Harris-Stowe State. And Munson is getting his hands on a lot of those as well. Going to be a carryover against Martin. And it'll give it back to Baker. Riley Barnes is going to come in for Martin. 14:24 left. Baker can tie with a triple or get to within 1 on a 2-point field goal. Shear to Wiggs. It's a 2-on-1 with Baker players down low. He lays it in, and Munson was trying to take a charge, but he was definitely in the restricted area. Well, he pointed it out last time when he thought that Wiggs was in the restricted area, and it may have benefited Baker because now the official is going to be more on the watch for it. He says good call. 48-49, Baker can tie on this free throw from Wiggs. It's too strong, and Munson skies for it with one arm. Now he looks to get that head of steam to attack the hoop. Spins to his left, back to the right, no good. Wiggs, great defense as he engulfs the rebound. Baker trails by a point with the basketball. They've slowed things down a little bit here in the second half after it was very high tempo to end that second half. Under to the liking of Harris-Stowe State. Elam off the catch, no good. In comes Shear. Passes to the cutting. Elam got it with the foul. On credit, Trent Shear mentioned how good of a rebounder he is for his size. With 5 a game, he got on the offensive glass, and then Elam didn't quit on the play, came around with the cut, and able to finish through the contact for his first points of the night. Well, you can't miss Xavier Elam out there with those neon bright shoes. And he hits the free throw. And he can really get hot in a hurry. This, again, just his second game. Played 16 minutes, kind of working back into action last game. And probably just kind of working back into action here tonight. He had 15 points against Harris-Stowe State a season ago. And when he gets hot, better get the fans ready in the gym. 51-49, Baker up by 2. Three-pointer for Spell, who's back on, and he gives the lead back to the Hornets with his second field goal of the night. 52-51. Spell does have 3 fouls. We'll see if Baker attacks him. Tries to get the big man for Harris-Stowe State in even more foul trouble. Elam sets the screen for Shear. Back to Elam. Fires the 25-footer left wing. It's short. Wiggs on the chase. Gets the board, but he can't keep it in bounds. He tried to call a timeout when he was about to go out of bounds, but the official didn't see it in time. So it goes over to the Hornets. Good catch in the corner by Spell to avoid it from going out of bounds. Fires into the middle, and it was almost stolen by Shear, but too hard for him to catch. Justin Batts back on for the first time in a couple minutes. Here comes the inbound for Martin, 12:46 to go. Hornets up by 1. Thrown into Spell, who hit that last three to give them the lead. Off to Martin at the top of the three-point arc, drives in on Swopes, out to Spell, up top to Barnes. Barnes going to hand off, working to his right to Spell, another handoff to Martin. Martin, the deep three, contested, and he hits a clutch three. As Amalek Martin has 15 points to make it 55-51. Dukes thought about the three. Pass is going to go out of bounds, tipped off McKenzie. Into Batts, calls for a screen. Over left to Dukes. Batts down low, and Wiggs tripped up, trying to get to it.
Checking into the game for the Wildcats, number 12, Kobe Buffalo.
Buffalo Meat's going to come on. Baker down 4 now. And we're going to get a timeout for Baker. 12:05 to go.
Full timeout.
Harris-Stowe State up by 2 possessions. Harris-Stowe State currently shooting 39%. Baker at 43.5%. Neither team's really lit it up from downtown. Harris-Stowe State is 6 of 22. Baker is 5 of 17. Free throws, Baker 6 of 9. Harris-Stowe State 5 of 11. Rebounding favors the Hornets by 4, 34-30. But the offensive glass is where they've done a big part of it. 13 for the Hornets. 8 offensive rebounds for the Wildcats, meanwhile. 13 assists for Baker to 11 turnovers. 9 assists to 6 turnovers for Harris-Stowe State. And they've done a really good job of that all year long, not turning over the basketball. They're averaging just 9 per game are the Hornets. Baker has 4 blocks. Harris-Stowe State with 5. In terms of steals, the Hornets have all 3. Bench scoring favors Baker 33-15. Points in the paint 28-20 for Harris-Stowe State. Second chance points is 9-6 for Baker. And points off turnovers 5-4. Currently, Deshaun Munson leads Harris-Stowe State in points, rebounds, and assists, 23, 10, and 5. And Baker, it's Dukes at 13 points, Buffalo Meat at 6 rebounds, and Colby Bullock at 4 assists to lead them in those 3 categories. Out of the timeout, Baker has 4, Harris-Stowe State with 5. 5 fouls right now against the Hornets as the 3 off the mark by Spell in the corner. 2 fouls this half against Baker. In the first half, it was 9 fouls against Baker and 5 against the Hornets. That's drives in, floats it up haphazardly, and it's over the head of Buffalo Meat, who is then called for a foul, tangling up.
Fouls on the Wildcats, number 12, Kobe Buffalo Meat, his 3rd personal.
And Wiggs is going to have to come on for Buffalo Meat, who's in foul trouble. Martin had the last 3 out to the right to Joseph. Drives baseline. Finds the cutter Barnes, but he dropped the ball, and Batts able to scoop it away. Batts on the run, gets by. Nice pass to the left, and Elam gets an easy layup. 5 for Elam all in the second half. Lead down to 2. Baker showed a bit of a press. Now they'll quickly retreat with Harris-Stowe State into the front court. Martin drives by Swopes into the teeth of the defense. Out to Barnes, the wing 3, no good. One-handed board by Dukes. And it's going to be a foul against Jamar Joseph. There's a reason he caught it with one arm. He was being hooked. Duke's showing off some athleticism there. Does average 4.5 rebounds per game at 6'3". Under 11 minutes left. Baker down 2. That's calling for a screen. Dukes going to be fouled by Joseph well before the shot. That is the 7th foul against Harris-Stowe State, though, and that'll be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Mason Dukes. A couple subs for the Hornets with Wesley Jr. and Dix on for Barnes and Joseph after those 2 straight fouls for Joseph. So Dukes to the line. He's got a 1-and-1. 1 for 2 on the season on free throws, but for his career, 85%. Splashes the first. Averages 8 points per game, those 4.5 rebounds, couple assists. The junior guard connects on both. 15 now, and we're tied at 55. 10.5 to play. Baker led briefly here in this second half, but a 3 was hit quickly by Harris-Stowe State. And again, they answer with another 3 to reclaim the lead. Nick McKenzie's first basket of the night. Averages 14.5 per game. It's taken till now for him to get on the scoreboard, and it's a 3-point lead again for the Hornets. Batts shovels off to Elam. Back to Batts. And Munson's going to be called for a foul down low. That's the 3rd foul he's been called for just in this second half alone.
Fouls on the Hornets. Number 0, Deshaun Munson, his 3rd personal.
Had none in the first half, though. So Wiggs for another 1-and-1, 8th foul against Harris-Stowe State. He's got 12 points tonight. Connects. 2 leading scorers for Baker with Dukes and Wiggs, who are both on the court now, did not start tonight's game. They've given good contributions off the bench. Second gets a friendly roll for Wiggs. Baker back down a point as Colby Bullock will go to the scorers table to get ready to check in. Here's Munson. Looking to drive on Wiggs. Hanging shot goes down. 25 for him. And it's 60-57. That's off a screen from Dukes, then a screen from Wiggs. A couple switches as he drives in. And a travel's going to be called. Took 3 steps. We'll have our media timeout, 9:36 to go. Harris-Stowe State 60, Baker 57, here on the Wildcat Digital Network, BakerWildcats.com. We'll have the women's game between Baker and Tabor. About half. Currently, in terms of individual stats, for Harris-Stowe State, Munson has 25 points, Joseph with 9, Dix with 3, Martin Jr. with 15, David Spell has 5, Nick McKenzie with 3. For Baker, Trent Shear has 2, Justin Batts with 4, Mason Dukes with 15, Kobe Buffalomeat with 6, Xavier Elam with 5, Ray Swopes with 3, Akeen Woods with 6, and Braden Wiggs with 14. Bullock does check in now for the Wildcats out of the timeout, trailing by a 3-point basket. And it's Bullock, Elam, Wiggs, Dukes, and Batts on the court for Baker. For Harris-Stowe State, Munson will bring it up. He's joined by Anderson Jr., Dix, Martin Jr., and McKenzie. Martin Jr. off to Anderson Jr., up top to McKenzie. Hit that last 3. Elam guarding him tight. They get to Munson. Left wing 3. Almost had it. That was the closest of his attempts so far. He's now 0 of 6 from 3 today, though. Wiggs up top. Bullock. Harris-Stowe State's done a real good job defensively here in the second half. There's going to be a foul on the floor away from the ball. Baker is in the bonus. 3 fouls against Baker this half, 8 against Harris-Stowe State. That'll be the 9th. And another 1-and-1 as Wiggs back to the line. He hit both last time of the 1-and-1. This is the final 1-and-1 after this. Every foul against Harris-Stowe State, shooting or not, will be 2 free throws. And Wiggs able to earn the second free throw. So Baker on every 1-and-1 in this game, able to earn their second. Making the most of their opportunities there. Short on the second, though. It's tapped around. Wiggs gets back to it right at the rack, lays it in. And that's a 3-point possession for Baker to tie it at 60. Wiggs now the leading scorer for Baker with 17. Munson looks to answer. He's able to Euro by Wiggs for the basket. 62-60. As Batts brings it up. As Wiggs at the top of the arc. Surveying the court, finds Elam, drives, pulls up from 16 feet to the right, no good. Batts got up on it and tipped it out of bounds, trying to get the board. Baker again just had the one brief lead here in this second half, but it's felt like every time they've tied or gotten right to that point, Harris-Stowe State has had an answer so far as they try to get over the hump here. Munson's got 27 points tonight. Anderson, right free throw line extended, knocks down a big triple. That is the first points of the game for Wesley Anderson Jr. Averages 7.5 per contest and a big triple there. Baker down 5 again, under 8 minutes to play. Up top, Dukes off a screen. Finds Batts to the left. With the left block just outside of it with Wiggs. Cross-court pass. Bullock, good fake of a 3. Takes a dribble, but off the mark. He struggled to find his rhythm tonight. Wiggs, good effort. Full-out dive. Can't get it at his bench. And it'll stay with the Hornets. Last time these two played was in February. Harris-Stowe State won that one 81-77. And prior to that, the last meeting was all the way back in 2012. Baker won it 82-73, which at the time gave him 3 straight wins. Munson at the rack again. This time can't get the finish. And Bullock grabbed it. Batts up to the left. Drives into the paint, and the Red Sea parted for Justin Batts, who's able to lay it in. 65-62, Baker down 3. Quickly, Martin pushes the other way. Thought about pulling up at the left elbow. Instead, kicked out to McKenzie. Gets out to Munson. Try to set up the isolation possibly. Instead, shoveled off to McKenzie. Another 3 for him. Too strong. Elam grabs the long rebound in front of the Hornets bench. Batts will bring it up. Looking around, Wiggs' body as he drives underneath the hoop, all the way around, 14-footer, good from the baseline. 4 straight for Batts, Baker down 1 again. And again, the Hornets quickly off the inbound, pushing the tempo. Martin out to Anderson, thought about a 3, gives off Munson. 6:35 to go, Munson going to be fouled by Wiggs, it's on the floor. That is the 4th against Baker. So it'll be a baseline inbound play, and Buffalo Meat will come on for Wiggs. But we're going to also get a timeout on the court. 6:34 to go. Harris-Stowe State 65, Baker 64. Baker opened up the season falling to Ottawa, then beating Spurgeon and Kansas Christian, losing to Benedictine. In their most recent contest, so 2-2 on the year, 0-1 in the Heart. Harris-Stowe State out of the American Midwest Conference, yet to play a conference match, but lost to two other Heart of America Athletic Conference opponents. Mount Mercy on November 7th at home, 108-101. And then on November 8th, played at William Penn and lost 114-92. After this one, the Hornets will take on Philander Smith College on December 5th at home. They'll have a couple weeks off. And then they'll start up conference play all the way in January, on January 9th at William Woods. January 12th will be their conference home opener against Hannibal LaGrange. And obviously it goes without saying that schedules are very flexible right now mid-COVID-19. For Baker, after this one, they're back into conference play. They'll take on Park. That one will come on Tuesday night. It'll be a doubleheader for both the men's and the women's. And, of course, we'll have the women's game here with Baker taking on Tabor College. About 25 minutes or so after the conclusion of this one. On the court for Baker, Bullock, Buffalo Meat, White, Elam, and Bats. It'll be Martin, the inbound pass for Harris-Stowe State. They get it into Munson, goes right at Buffalo Meat, fake to the right, goes to the left, and off the pivot foot, the easy lay-in off the nice footwork by Munson. Also on the court for them is Anderson Jr., McKenzie, and David Spell. 3-point lead for the Hornets after the last bucket. Bullock couldn't find the inbound to Buffalo Meat, who's being fronted. Tyler White up top. Buffalo Meat working hard to try to establish positioning. Elam. The free throw line out to Bullock. Back to Elam. Fake the three. Drives inside the free throw line. Floater gets the friendly roll. 7 points in the second half for Xavier Elam. Baker down one again. And again, this is where they've struggled to kind of get over that hump. See if they can here. McKenzie. Off the dribble on Elam. Stayed on his hip. Out to Munson. Straight on. Drives to the right on Buffalo Meat and lays it up over him. And Munson up over 30 points. Had 51 points did Munson against William Penn. Elam for the tie, right corner. It's short. He got the rebound at the baseline, but then missed with a lot of contact. And then he's called for the foul as Spell grabbed it and just tripped over him with him on the ground.
Foul is on the Wildcats, number 15, Xavier Elam, his first.
Under 5.5 to play. Hornets up 3. They've led for pretty much all of, except for about 30 seconds or so this second half. Bats, good contest. It still almost went in for Martin. It was Bullock getting the rebound to clear it for Baker. Bats crosses the timeline. Shovels off to Bullock. Works around to the top of the arc. Finds Bats again at the right wing. Inside the arc, inside the paint. Nice pass to Elam, who ran right to the hoop and got the easy lay-in off the feed. He's got 9 now all in the second half. And timeout Baker with 4:52 to go. Again trailing by 1. 69-68 Harris-Stowe State. 4:52 left. Three timeouts left for Baker. 4 timeouts are left for Harris-Stowe State. Currently 9 fouls against Harris-Stowe State, meaning any foul they give is double bonus for Baker. Baker's been called for 5 fouls this half, and that means that they have 1 foul to give before they go into the single bonus. And this was the foul total reversed in the first half. It was 9-5 the other way. So an equal amount of fouls total for the game. Baker opened up the contest with a 21-13 lead here. Was a 19-6 run after that for Harris-Stowe State. Baker then got a brief lead before the halftime break. Harris-Stowe State hit a triple at the halftime buzzer. And at the break, score is 42-40. Two teams have battled back and forth. Baker had a brief lead for about 1 possession, and immediately Harris-Stowe State responded. Besides that, they've had the lead or it's been tied the rest of the half, and it has been close, regardless of who's been in the lead all game. Out of the timeout, we'll see what Baker draws up. Akeem Woods is back out there. And it looks like he's going to guard Munson instead of having Buffalo Meat out on him. Munson will drive in, kick out. Pretty good look at a three by Spell off the pick and pop. Just rattled off the rim. And climbing the ladder was Elam. Here's Batts to Elam. Baker can take the lead with a bucket. White off a screen, flips it in, and is overthrown for Buffalo Meat. Munson on the run. Full head of steam, but he lost the basketball. Elam up ahead to Buffalo Meat. The center having to dribble all the way down the court and lays it in. And Baker reclaims the lead. 8 for Kobe Buffalo Meat. It's 70-69. So Baker looking for the stop. This is... Well, they've been unable to do so right when they take the lead or tie it. They've been unable to kind of get over that hump. We'll see if they can do it right here. Munson. Back to Spell, another three. This from the wing. And a rebound for Akeem Woods. Now Baker looking for a little more cushion than just a point. Batts. 3:35 to go. Woods wide open for three from the right. No good. Buffalo Meat taps it up, but it goes to Munson. Munson on the run. It's a 3-on-2. Bounce pass to the left. McKenzie at the rim. Finishes over White. And the lead back to Harris-Stowe State. 5 points for McKenzie. Batts all the way back to the other way, and he lays it in to give Baker the lead again. 72-71. Batts in double digits with 10. 3:10 to go. Anderson Jr. being guarded by Tyler White. Bounces to the left, kicks out. Spell. Good recovery by White. Munson being guarded by Woods. Taking on the challenge of the guy averaging over 40 per game. Kicks to the right to Joseph. Joseph bounces to Munson. Woods looking to take away his dribble. Good defense there, but Munson is fouled. Well, you got to like, though, the junior taking on the challenge of taking on an NAIA first-team All-American who's got 31 tonight. Seemed to be pretty good defense, but called for a foul. And Munson will go to the line. He hits the first. On the night, Munson 6 of 11 at the free throw line now after that make. And we're tied at 72. He's been pretty much 50-50 on the previous trips, though. See if that continues here on the second. And it does. Elam gets the board. We're even at 72, 2:45 to go. Baker with possession. Batts in possession of the basketball. And it's Elam, White, Woods, and Buffalo Meat on the court for the home team. White at the top of the arc to the right at the NAIA logo is Elam. A few jab steps, and he's blocked at the rim. Baker thought that should have been a foul as Munson quick to go the other way. Working left, right, to the rack and lays it in. Munson up to 34 points. And it's a 74-72 lead for Harris-Stowe State. Baker can tie or take the lead depending on a score here. And with 2:09 to go, they'll take a timeout.
Wildcat timeout. 30-second timeout.
Baker had the lead again for a brief moment. Harris-Stowe State able to get a couple buckets with Deshaun Munson. And once he gets out in transition, that's where he really causes you problems, which he's been able to do. Harris-Stowe State a little over 40%. Baker closer to 45%. Wildcats have been unable to find consistency from beyond the arc. Usually a very good shooting team overall, just 5 of 20 today. Harris-Stowe State's 8 of 30. Baker up 41-39 in rebounding. They've fixed some of the Harris-Stowe State offensive rebounding problems that were giving the Baker defense a bit of woes. Still at 13 after they were at that about 10 or so minutes ago. So Baker down 2 with the ball. Dukes is in. He's got 15 points tonight. That's to the right to Woods. Woods finds Buffalo Meat off a little screen at the free throw line. Just missed. That was the shot they wanted. It almost went in. Now they'll look for a stop, but bleeding ahead of the defense is Dix for the lay-in. And Buffalo Meat called for the foul, trying to get back defensively. And a big bucket for Dix.
His fourth at the line.
That'll be the fourth against Buffalo Meat, too. And Baker down 4 with 1:54 to go. Wiggs is going to come on for Buffalo Meat first.
Checking into the game for the Wildcats, number 35, Bray Wiggs.
Wiggs leads the team with 17 points for Baker. Free throw off the rim. Bats with the basketball. Baker needs a score right here. And Bats will go right to the teeth of the defense. No good. It's tipped up. Wiggs comes up with a loose ball and lays it in. Big score for Baker. He's up to 19. And now Wildcats need a stop, down by 2. 1:35 to go. Martin has 15. Gives to Munson, who's got 34. Off the spell. Into the free throw line with Munson, being guarded by Woods. 10 on the shot clock. Crosses him over, drives in, lays it in. And 36 now for Deshaun Munson. So another timeout on the court. And Munson up to 36 points. A big bucket there to extend the lead out to 2 possessions at 78-74. 1 minute, 13 seconds to go. Still time for Baker. We'll see who they go to. Duke's had 13 in the first half, just 2 here in the second half. Elam in the second half has 9. Wiggs has 19 for the game. A lot of options here for the Wildcats. Hornets are going to put on a full court press. Looks like full court man-to-man. Wiggs will throw into Woods. He's guarded by Dix. And they're just going to do this to try to bleed a few extra seconds off. Bats to the right to Elam. Down to a minute to go. Here's Bats. Guarded by Martin Jr. 10 on the shot clock. Elam gets the post touch to Wiggs, but it's knocked away. Dix on the defense. Not sure if Wiggs just dribbled that off his foot, though. And Bats is going to be called for a foul. It'll be a 1-and-1 upcoming for Wesley Anderson Jr. 45 seconds to go. Baker down 4.
At the line, shooting for the Hornets.
Anderson is a senior from Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is his first free throw attempt of the season. Tyler White will come on for Keen Woods. So Anderson, first free throw attempt of the year, and it comes in a pretty important spot. He's got 3 points tonight. Had 15 in their opener against Mount Mercy, but just 3 points combined in the next 2, including tonight. And a clutch free throw upcoming. Gets the friendly roll. Starting all 3 games for Harris-Stowe State. Second, good as well, and it's now a 6-point lead for the Hornets, 80-74. Bats working down the sideline, going all the way to the rim. He's fouled, got it to go. And that was the one thing you didn't want for Harris if you're Harris-Stowe State. If you have to give up the basket, do it, but don't give up the foul as well. And a huge make for Justin Bats. Dukes and Wiggs are going to come out for some subs for Baker. Try to get some defense on there. Bats going to come in, swopes one of them to maybe try to poke a steal away. And a big make by Bats on the free throw, too. Timeout, Baker.
Wildcat timeout. Full timeout.
3-point lead for Harris-Stowe State. A big bucket for Bats. There is a 9.8 second difference between game and shot clock. So Baker could hypothetically go for the stop and then try to come down and hit a game-tying three. Be a bit of a risk. We'll see what Sean Dooley decides. Of course, 8 fouls against Baker right now, 10 against Harris-Stowe State, meaning Baker's in the double bonus, but if Baker were to foul Harris-Stowe State, they'd still have three timeouts should they need them. And that's important, especially with inbound passing. Baker has 1 timeout left. Munson has the inbound. He quickly shovels it into Anderson down the right line. Swopes doing a good job. White almost got the double, and Shear tried to come on to steal it, but it got to Munson first. Well, I mentioned he's just 50% at the line so far today, 6 of 12. And this is just a 1-and-1. Baker's got to box out if he misses the first. 34.3 seconds left. Wildcats down by 3. Munson, the reigning American Midwest Conference Player of the Year. He's got 36 points tonight. And he hits the first. Just 50% on the day coming into that one, but you know the reigning NAIA Player of the Week is clutch and going to hit him when he needs to. 2-possession game again. Second short, though, and Batts grabs it. Baker down 4. Clock down to 30 seconds now. Batts lost the basketball. Martin took it away, and now Munson is on the run. He's going to flush it on the 180 jam. 83-77. Elam looks to quickly respond. 18 seconds to go. Drives, banks it up and in with 15 and a half. And Baker will utilize their final timeout.
Timeout on the floor. Wildcat timeout. Full timeout.
So Baker down by 4. And they're going to need some help with turnovers, missed free throws, and to be pretty good on offense to close this thing out. $15 and a half to play. It's been a back-and-forth contest between Harris-Stowe State and Baker. Two teams who came into this averaging over 85 points per game. As it currently stands, Harris-Stowe State, this would be their lowest scoring output of the season by nearly 20 points. 101 against less than that. They had 92 against William Penn, so about 9 points. But the least they've given up is 108. Their defense has played a lot better here in this one.
Returning to the floor for the Wildcats, number 0, Trent Shear. Number 2, Tyler White, and number 23, Ray Swopes.
Baker with an all-guard lineup on the court. Tyler White a forward. Plays more on the perimeter. And getting wide open was Anderson. And he'll be fouled by Bullock.
Fouls on the Wildcats, number 4, Colby Bullock, his first. At the line, shooting 2 for the Hornets. Anderson.
2 shots for Anderson, both teams in the double bonus. 13.8 seconds to go and a 4-point lead for the Hornets. And Anderson stays perfect at the line for the day and the season. Now 3 for 3.
For the Wildcats, number 35, Brayton Wiggs, number 11, Mason Dukes, and number 5, Justin Batts.
Second nothing but net as the senior with clutch free throws. 85-79, 12 seconds to go. Baker's got to hurry. Really use a three. Batts drives in, hangs, gets to Elam, knocks it in, but just 3.4 seconds to go. Baker down 4. They have to get a steal here. Munson will go down court. Wide open is Joseph, and he'll lay it in with 0.9 seconds to go. Wiggs comes firing. Batts will take the 3 off the mark, and Baker will fall by 6. So Harris-Stowe State, 87, Baker 81. The Hornets get their first victory of the season, the defending American Midwest Conference champions. Baker drops to 2-3 on the season, but another hard-fought game, and it's a below 500 record, but the 3 losses for Baker at Ottawa. That's a team who won their conference a year ago. Harris-Stowe State, a team who won their conference tournament a season ago, and to a good Benedictine team who picked to finish near the top of the Heart of America Athletic Conference. So Baker obviously will be disappointed with the result, but still so far a lot to like from this team early in the season, and they'll be back on Tuesday to take on Park University. We'll have that one for you. It'll be part of a doubleheader with the women's team and the men's team following that one. Coming up next, though, we're going to have the women's team for Baker taking on Baker College. Stick with us. BakerWildcats.com, Baker Wildcat Network. All right, we'll be back in a little bit.